How did Thor go from a one-man wrecking crew in Infinity War that almost killed Thanos to a fat Muppet hermit who could do almost zero damage to Thanos despite having 2 hammers? How did this happen? How did he get his ass royally whooped to the point where he got outshined by Captain America with only 1 of his hammers? What happened? Is it because he was eating junk food, chocolates, pizza for a couple years, and his fitness levels completely declined despite having Asgardian physiology and being a literal god? How did he go from the prime of his career to the worst we've ever seen in the span of a couple years of eating junk food? Or is it all because of a specific detail, specifically in Infinity War with the 3rd act that most people miss, and it's taken until now for me to tell you all the true reason why Thor really got weaker, and it's not what you think? The real answer to this question is, he was weak because the plot needed him to be, okay? That's probably what the real question is, okay? Marvel needed to figure out a way to give all the Avengers a shine in the final battle of Endgame, and they're like, we can't have OP Thor whoop Thanos' entire army, including Thanos himself. That would defeat the purpose of it being an Avengers movie. That probably is a real answer, but there's more to it, and I do a lot of cocaine, and I need to create schizo theories to fill in the plot holes that dumbass low IQ studios create. So that's why I'm here. I'm the cinema vigilante, and I'm telling you, Marvel gaslit us all. They gaslit us to believe that an Asgardian warrior with godlike physiology, who's tanking cosmic hits left and right throughout his films, can get fat and have no conditioning after eating some pizza and chocolate for a couple years. He can go from this, a literal god, to this, having a body that reacts to chocolate like a normal human would, granted slightly more durable. 5 years of eating turns him into this. Let me be very clear with you. I don't give a shit if Thor snorted Walter White's methamphetamine, crystal meth for 10 years straight, and ate nothing else. I don't care. He is an Asgardian god of thunder. If he ever got fat, it should just take him to absorb a couple bolts of lightning and get back into 6-pack abs again. That's exactly how his body should work. I don't give a shit if you ate chocolate. He's a god who can tank a star, a dying star. And he can survive all the burns and all that within 2 seconds of getting his hammer. You're telling me that this dude's entire body and conditioning is going to go down the drain by eating a couple chocolates and pizza? Oh, but he did for 5 years, Zaffy. He's not human. He's not a human, okay? He's not a human. I've seen ex-UFC fighters who have ate nothing but junk food and smoked and done meth and all this stuff. They've come back from the precipice after 5 years and look better than the way he did. What the fuck is wrong with Marvel? Oh, but Zaffy, he was depressed, and when the mind is afloat, then the body will follow. I understand that, okay? But let me be real. That still should not impact how he fought. Okay? Because if you're saying, oh, well, when he's depressed, he's weaker. At the end of Endgame, he had the peak motivation. He had the most motivation to kill a man that he's ever had besides the ending of Infinity War. At that point, all depression should have gone out the window. Oh, but he was facing against a Thanos that was younger and stronger than the Thanos in Infinity War. This was a different Thanos. He was in the prime. First of all, this Thanos is only a couple years removed from the one in Infinity War. It's not like it's like 200 years later. That's not what's happening here. Plus, the Thanos at the end of Infinity War that Thor almost killed had all 5 Infinity Stones and blasted Thor. You're telling me Thor was able to take that dude on but struggled against a 5 years younger Thanos? Get the fuck out of here. And the same axe that he used to cut through the blast of a fully formed Infinity Gauntlet, he was wielding that and Mjolnir. How the fuck were you struggling with Thanos? How the hell did you need Iron Man and Cap to save your ass? He almost got killed if it wasn't for Cap intervening, by the way. But what if I told you that this plot hole can be erased with my video? It all leads back to this scene. Remember what happened? Thor and Thanos blast each other. Thor swings his hammer through the blast of a fully formed Infinity Gauntlet. Have you guys ever wondered how Thor was able to walk away from this moment unscathed? A fully formed, all stones configured Infinity Gauntlet blasting you. The most powerful blast Thor has ever faced in his existence. I get it. Stormbreaker's strong, but it's not that strong. This is the fucking Infinity Gauntlet we're talking about here. Even the Russo brothers have said the Stormbreaker is not on that level. What if I told you that there are unseen consequences as a result from this very confrontation? Thor didn't walk away unscathed. Something very subtle happened, okay? I'm gonna cook this for Marvel, because Marvel's shit. Marvel, thank me later. You're a low IQ. You can't do what I do ever in a million years. I'll solo your entire writers team. Remember the Nano Infinity Gauntlet that the Avengers were making? Remember what happened. They took all the stones and created this, to be honest, a gauntlet that in my opinion was even more unstable than the one that was built by the dwarves in Infinity War, okay? Remember what was said in the dialogue. All the Avengers are trying to figure out who can wield this and snap without dying immediately. Hulk says, literally he says this, the radiation is mostly gamma. None of you would survive, only I can, because I was made from a gamma radiation burst. I'm made from this shit. I was built for this. No one else could survive this. Including Thor, which is cap, by the way, to me, because that's bullshit. Thor's an Asgardian god who's beaten the shit out of Hulk many times. Okay, come on now. He's not powerful enough to survive a snap, but whatever. Whatever, regardless. No one else, including Thor, could survive that snap except for the Hulk, because the radiation and the full energy of the blast would kill everybody. It would incinerate them, alright? Tony says it's channeling enough energy in this moment to light up a continent. And I'm assuming the radiation with that would play a big part in all these people getting incinerated. So only a man made of that radiation could survive. Keep that in mind. So, when they blast each other at the end of Infinity War, a fully formed Infinity Gauntlet blast, somehow Thor and Stormbreaker are able to absorb that and cut through it. What if I told you that the blast did affect Thor's body, just not in the way we thought? Because Stormbreaker, when it stabbed Thanos, you think, okay, Thanos got the worst of this exchange. Thanos nearly died, and he did. But Thor did not walk. Thor was fucked. The moment the blast was let out from the gauntlet, Thor was fucked. Everything that was directly in front of that blast was fucked. Thor and his hammer were exposed to vast amounts of cosmic radiation. In fact, the hammer absorbed a lot of it. And every time Thor wielded it, his body was getting exposed to it. Alright? Maybe that's the sole reason that all the other Avengers weren't exposed to a big-ass blast like this. And it was Thor, mostly, right? Because it was directed at him. The Thor and his hammer channeled that cosmic radiation. There are 3 kinds of emissions from the Infinity Gauntlet that we've seen. Stay with me, bear with me, okay? There's the one that occurs from the blast of a snap. When someone snaps, it lets out a large amount of cosmic energy and radiation, right? And then there's the kind that it's similar, but even more dangerous, where Thanos tried to use the stones to destroy one another. He destroyed the stones, using the stones, and it caused the blast to almost kill them. Burns happen. An entire body almost gets burned off as a result of this. I don't know how Thanos survived this, by the way. He should have died. And then there's a third kind of blast, which is lesser. It's more used as a precision blast to incinerate one target rather than multiple, like snapping half the universe away or blowing up multiple Infinity Stones, right? It's concentrated, but it still emits radiation and cosmic energy on that scale. Smaller scale, but still. So all 3, as a result of exposure with the gauntlet, got affected by the cosmic radiation, but Thor's, because it was from a blast that wasn't of the same nature as the others, and because Stormbreaker was absorbing all of it, his effects of the radiation were more subtle and gradual. It destroyed his body over time. This is like cosmic radiation poisoning that he got from these Infinity Stones, okay? So his body was damaged over time, making him weaker, making his body more tired, physically weaker, but also making him more and more... His body went from Chad Asgardian physiology to more like a human physiology in the way he'd react to things, like eating food and shit. It's entirely possible that the cosmic radiation fucked his body like this. Some people say, well, how the hell did Stormbreaker get so weak in Endgame? How did Stormbreaker go from being the most powerful weapon ever in Infinity War to not being able to do shit to Thanos? Look, it's not... the hammers are the same. The hammers are the same. It's the body. And not because of chocolate and pizza and all this bullshit I'm eating, no. His body never recovered. And even now, he still has radiation poisoning. This is my theory. But he's recovered more as time's gone on. His body's been able to work with it better. In Love and Thunder, for example. But he's not the same. He's never going to prime Thor condition again. He's still suffering. He's back, but not fully. Which is why I think Infinity War Thor is the strongest we'll ever see him. That's the prime Thor. Because after that, it all ended after he had that confrontation with Thanos where Thanos shot him with the blast. Ever since then, he's never been the same, y'all. Never. Ever. I have literally given Marvel a canonical excuse for them nerfing Thor after Infinity War, by the way. Sorry. I literally have created a canon level excuse for Thor to not be as powerful as he was. Love and Thunder, he's strong, but he's nowhere near what he was in Infinity War. And it was all a result of that blast that gave him radiation poisoning. You're welcome, Marvel. I filled in the fucking plot hole. Now, people could say, how come the other Avengers were infected by this radiation? I'm gonna just say Stormbreaker absorbed the most of it. He'd absorbed all the radiation, and then the guy who used the Stormbreaker is getting fucked by said radiation. Thor. So, his greatest weapon is also his greatest weakness as a result. It's crazy, eh? And you could say at the end of Thor Love and Thunder, as a result of whatever he was doing with Stormbreaker, that radiation is now dissipated, and the Stormbreaker itself is no longer a problem, but Thor's physiology is still fucked over by the radiation poisoning, and it's something he has to get through. So, you're welcome, Marvel. I literally am saving your legacy. Thank me. I want you to beg me for forgiveness. If anyone else came up with this theory, I think I'm the first. But if anyone else did, ignore them. They're a psyop sent from Hollywood to make me look bad. Okay? If you want to know the real reason why Hulk lost to Thanos, according to Marvel themselves, based on their Infinity Saga book that they published, because apparently Thanos is a fraud and cheated during this fight, making this fight less badass than we thought, you can watch my video over here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.